you usually feel like the king of the road in a semi. But imagine sitting mere inches above the pavement, with a roaring engine behind you and a 40-foot trailer looming directly over your head. This isn't a sci-fi movie. In the 70s and 80s, the US and Germany actually built these cab-under trucks to cheat cargo laws. The result? A terrifying failure. Welcome to Amazing Auto History. Today, we explore the Strick Cab-Under and the Steinwinter Supercargo to see why this radical idea disappeared from our highways. To understand why anyone would build a truck this low, we have to go back to the United States in the 1970s. It was a different era. The trucking industry was battling strict regulations. At that time, many states had severe limits on the total length of a truck and trailer combination. Trucking companies wanted to maximize profits. They realized that if the law limits the total length, the only way to make the trailer bigger is to make the truck cab smaller. This is why cab-over trucks were so popular. But an engineer named Ronald Zubko decided to take it a step further. He asked the crazy question, what if the cab wasn't just short? What if it was underneath the trailer? Zubko worked for the Strick Corporation. His solution was called the Strick Cab-Under. And it was unlike anything on the road. The design was radical. The cab was positioned way forward, ahead of the front axle. The entire truck was incredibly low, standing just under 4 feet tall. That is about 1.2 meters. To give you some perspective, the ground clearance was only 9 inches. This design allowed the cargo trailer to extend right over the top of the cab, adding valuable cubic feet to the payload. Under the hood, or rather, between the axles, sat a powerful Cummins V8 engine. It was paired with a 13-speed transmission. Mechanically, it was a beast. Strick built 2 prototypes. The first one, in 1977, was a bizarre 2-axle model with a tiny, single-seat cockpit. Later, in 1978, they improved it. They built a 3-axle version with dual steering front axles and a proper 2-seater cab. But even with these improvements, there was a big problem. The problem was the driving experience. Sitting in the Strick Cab-Under felt less like driving a semi-truck and more like driving a Chevrolet Corvette. You were practically sitting on the asphalt. The engineers tried hard to fix the blind spots and improve visibility, but American truck drivers hated it. It felt unnatural. And it wasn't just the drivers who were confused. Whenever the test drivers took the Strick out on the highway, they were constantly pulled over by police. The officers simply couldn't believe this thing was street legal. But the real deal breaker was safety. During testing, they realized a terrifying truth. If this truck hit a low obstacle, like a concrete road barrier or a guardrail, it wouldn't hit the bumper. It would hit the windshield. The driver had almost no protection. Also, imagine driving in heavy rain. The spray from other cars' tires would hit the windshield directly, making visibility 0. With the safety risks too high and drivers refusing to get behind the wheel, the Strick project was cancelled. Only 2 were ever made. You would think the industry learned its lesson. But in 1983, the concept returned. This time, in Germany. Meet Manfred Steinwinter. He was a visionary who looked at the cab-under idea and thought he could do it better. He unveiled the Steinwinter Supercargo 20.40. If the American Strick was ugly and industrial, the German Steinwinter was futuristic. It looked like a spaceship. The towing module was only 46 inches tall. That is slightly taller than a Ferrari Testarossa of the same era. Steinwinter had huge ambitions. He didn't just want a truck, he wanted a modular system. The idea was that this flat skate could go under a semi-trailer, carry a container, or even slide under a double-decker bus to act as the engine. It was a brilliant concept on paper. And it had serious backing from the giants at Daimler-Benz. This machine was designed for efficiency. By putting the cab underneath, the total length of the combination stayed within the law, but the cargo space was massive. The prototype could haul an impressive 60-foot trailer. Inside, it was surprisingly luxurious. Since the engine was behind the driver, the floor was completely flat. It had sporty Recaro leather seats, a sleeping berth between the chairs, a closet, and even a small kitchen with a fridge. It was like a luxury apartment on wheels. Power came from a massive Mercedes-Benz V8 engine, pushing over 700 horsepower in some proposed specs, though the prototype had around 400. It had air suspension that could lower the truck at high speeds for better aerodynamics. It was essentially a supercar disguised as a semi-truck. It sounds perfect, right? A research firm called Dekra even calculated that this truck could save shipping companies huge amounts of money every year. But, just like the American attempt, reality hit hard. The test unit only drove about 2,000 miles before things started falling apart. First, the durability. Being so low to the ground meant the plastic body panels were constantly smashed by rocks and road debris. The futuristic truck began to look beat up very quickly. Second, the handling was dangerous. Because the truck had a very short wheelbase and no weight over the rear drive axle, it had terrible traction. It suffered from severe oversteer. If the driver wasn't careful, the truck would spin out or jackknife effortlessly. Mercedes-Benz saw the data and pulled the plug. They realized that while the idea was clever, the physics just didn't work for daily use. Today, the last Steinwinter sits rotting in a Stuttgart lot, a sad reminder of a future that never arrived. Both concepts failed because they ignored the most important factor, the human driver. The fear of piloting these low-profile death traps was simply too high. So, a question for you, would you drive a cab-under cross-country for double the pay? Or is it too scary? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this, please hit like and subscribe to this channel. We have plenty more automotive history coming soon. Thanks for watching, and drive safe.